So at SmackDown on February 1st, the show opens with you and the Radicals coming out. You're going to cut a promo about how they weren't old enough to make it in WCW and they deserve a chance. Hunter's going to announce
I got my zingers in there.
Oh, you did, man.
I was 100% on board as a WWE guy.
I think the original plan, it feels like it's set here where it's going to be a series of matches, and if they win, they get jobs. So it's going to be an 8-man tag with the Radicals against Hunter and the rest of DX, and that's supposed to be the main event. We know that doesn't happen. But boy, what a crazy time this is, because right after this, and it's hard to just even put this into context, all that Vince is doing with the WWF, and we know the next year they're actually going to go public. But here on February 3rd, he announces the XFL. And you wrote in your book, Vince called me on my cellular phone on February 6th. I had my kids in the car and wasn't in any mood for a verbal confrontation, so I never mentioned 2020. What do you think we should do about the pay-per-view? Vince said. I consider my relationship with Vince to be a good one and at times to be a close one, but he doesn't make a habit of consulting with me about pay-per-view ideas over the phone. I generally give the World Wrestling Federation some good ideas, and they give me a great deal of creative freedom concerning interviews and angles, but this particular call was a little out of the norm. Fortunately, I had been giving my potential retirement match a great deal of thought and had an idea on tap. I had regretted not retiring after the Madison Square Garden show and feared hanging around much longer. By the time the phone call was done, we had booked our No Way Out main event. It was Cactus Jack and Triple H in a Hell in a Cell match, with the loser being forced to retire. I had intended to go out at the WrestleMania with a nice send-off, but I actually like this idea better, wrestling my kind of match in a pay-per-view main event.
Man, I'm glad. First of all, that's some pretty good writing.
Yeah, absolutely.
A kid can write. And I was thinking, wow, I would not declare my relationship with Vince to be close at this point, although it could be. You never say never. But yeah, I knew that the injury to Eddie had something to do with it. So possibly they were going to go with the Radicals and Triple H. So maybe the Triple H Royal Rumble match was supposed to be a one-off, Triple H and Cactus Jack, and that I was hoping to retire at Mania. But yeah, now I do agree with them. Thanks for clearing that up.
If you had your druthers thinking back on it, I mean, I know it's easy to look back with hindsight, but in your mentality leaving the Rumble in January of 2000, who would have been your dream WrestleMania retirement opponent? Would it have been Hunter, or would it have been someone else?
Yeah, I feel so fortunate to have had those two big matches with Hunter.
Yeah.
Because there's this telling moment in Beyond the Mat where I say, I don't want to be remembered as the guy with the sock.
Right.
And then after Barry Blaustein shows me the footage, he was concerned that I was going to come across poorly as a father, because in my own defense, by the time I got backstage, the kids had calmed down. I didn't realize that they had been beside themselves and hysterical, even where my son asked me, Dad, can I go back out and watch the Rumble? And my daughter says, Dad, I want to wrestle you. And I said, well, we'll wrestle when I get home. I want to wrestle you right now. So, all bandaged up. She wants to wrestle me right now. So they seem fine. And Barry wanted me to see that and remark on it because he liked me, He didn't want me to come across poorly as a father. He thought that would be unfair. And so that's why he showed me that footage. So I did get, and then I said, maybe I would rather go out as the guy with the sock. But I did get to go out the way I wanted to go out with two big matches. So I can't say that there would be a dream opponent for me.
Okay.
I can't say that. And I did end up, catching on against my will. In the WrestleMania main event, people call me a hypocrite for coming back 6 weeks after I said I wouldn't prostitute my name by coming back in 2 months. I think I came back and said I didn't come back in 2 months. I came back in 6 weeks. But I'm also the only guy to ever actually try to change the company's mind when they're told they're going to be in a WrestleMania main event. So I tried. You can ask JR when you grill JR. I did try. Hey, we got a little. I don't do a good JR. I do a good Vince, good Terry Funk, decent, yeah, Rocky Balboa. I don't do a good JR. But when he called me up, he says, "Well, we got a little role for you, WrestleMania. I'm going to host a panel." And main event? I said, I just retired. And well, Vince feels really strongly about this.